My name is Bishop K. Donnell Smith, Sr. I was born and raised in Midtown, LA. Saved, sanctified, filled with the Holy Ghost, but I wasn't always. My ministry is going out into the trenches, ministering to all the bangers, all the gangsters, and all the harlots, all of the ones that come from the streets from where I came from, knowing that if God can change me, he can change anybody.
You see all these scars in my face, man? And he shot me. Bam.
Now it's time to change. Same thing. I get a lot of respect because of the loyalty and the strength that I showed my community in my past. And they know I still have that strength now as far as me being a godly man. I done got shot twice, bullets past my head, penitentiary chances. I didn't think I was gonna make it to be past 18 years old. I was living as a renegade. I wasn't thinking about anything else but that day. I was a wretched man. I did everything up under the sun, but I never was a thief. I never disrespected women in the negative way that they doing now with the sex trafficking. That was never my thing. But did I do everything else? Yes. We didn't look at it as a kid like that. You didn't look at it as we going to grow and go into this gang. That's not how we looked at it. This is my friend. These are my people. This became my family. So now that they're my family, we do what each other do. We're going to protect our street. We're going to protect our community. We was a family. We ate together. We slept together. We partied together. We went places together. That's our community. That's what we did. You know, people try to just, they try to take over your area, your street. This is their park. This is their street. This is their liquor store. This is their hamburger stand where they hang out at. And that was the things that you had to defend back then. So when someone came in to just, try to take over our area or our streets or whatever it was, then, we became that tight-knit family. And of course, we was affiliated with the Crips. I would be the one that had a weapon to be able to defend who was ever around me or protect who was ever around me. And I did it frequently. I wasn't a hothead where I would just go start something with anybody, but I was the one who would actually finish the situation. I was always cool, calm, and collective, but knowing when something did happen that I would make sure that it was a solution. That's why they called me Gizmo. Gizmo, that's where the name came from. Gizmo is a tool that you use to fix any obstacle that comes in its way. It was myself, termite, cue ball, popcorn, and Boyce. Now you only have myself and termite who are living. So me seeing him still doing what he's doing out in the streets, I can't judge him on that. All I could do is just continue to water the seed and let him know, man, God still has a promise and a plan and a purpose for your life. change. That's all I can tell them. But when I see them, I get happy just to see them from where we came from.
He ain't going backwards. That's one thing about Giz. Going back, because it's nothing back there. Since 88 till 2015, I've been in and out of jail. In and out. You know, when my brother told me that rest in peace, he told me, he like, Rob, you scared of change. I'm like, huh? What are you talking? He like, you scared of change. Like I don't want to change my ways or the way I do things in life. Right now today, I see what he was talking about. I'm a Virgo. The Virgo's supposed to be the nice one, the understandable one. But I'm like that too, though. Then when you get mad, you just get mad. This
What's that?
gunshot.
Yeah.
That was 2000. That was 2007.
Yeah.
He said, let the girls fight, and I'm like, me and you fight. So he runs down the street, and I runs right behind him. He just like, turn around, I got the burner. He's showing me he got it, and I grabbed for it. No, I grabbed it. I grabbed it. I just couldn't pull it, and he shot me. Bam. Shot me under the stomach. Boom. And I was walking in the circle like, nigga, you done shot me. And he looked, then he just ran off. Oh, he's still here. He's still here. I didn't tell on him or nothing. They went to go shooting, retaliation. Yeah, he was laying in the house. They went to go back and shoot him, but they didn't hit him. Say he would come up right now. Right now, while we sitting right here, he would come up right now. Me and my brother jump on him. We're jumping right now, and you have it on camera. Right now, like, oh, like it's all cool. That's why I went over there yesterday. Thought I was gonna see him yesterday. I'd rather fight, because I got 2 strikes. They catch me with a gun, I'm gonna get life. I can't come home no more. My cousin got life. My homeboy, little termite, under me, got life. Well, Giz, yeah, he's the OG. He's the OG. But he turned himself to God. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. Kind heart, he got that. But don't push him all the way to the limit. Cause he'll get bad. He'll get bad. And he'll get, I'm like, ain't you the bishop? He'll roll himself up to it, but if somebody touch him, I think, yeah, he'll fight then.
I feel that I can defend my sheep that God has put up under me. And whenever the enemy, the devil, the spirit, comes to harm someone that I love, I can defend them. I'm not one of those type of pastors that's going to stay in the church and, that's not my ministry. My ministry is going out. I love talking to the bangers. I love talking to the Crips. I love talking to the Bloods. I love talking to the gangsters. I love talking to those who need some help.
Bye.
They call her a little homegirl. I took her in as a little niece. Got caught up in sex trafficking. She chose that life. It's not like somebody took her in and forcing her to do anything. I don't believe that after me doing my own little hood investigation. Come to find out this is something that she's choosing to do. But I really want to help her get off them streets. She has the zest. She can work. She's a go-getter. She just have to get away from the people who she's surrounded by, that street life. She like that street life. She'll cry, teary-eyed, want to do better. She say she's gonna do better. But then when the weekend comes, I'm not around, I'm in the church. But, she goes back into those clubs. She goes back into, doing whatever drug of choice she chooses and stripping. And that's the lifestyle she likes. She said that's how she gets her money. But I gotta get her out of that. That's just, God just put it on my heart that's the project for me.
Your game.
Same thing.
Your game. Your game.
Yeah, I want to talk to her, so just keep her there. Just keep her there, because I want to talk to her. Yeah. Yeah. Just let her know I'm on my way right now. I'll be there in about 10 minutes. If I try to find Lil Jelly, I need to talk to her before she get out here in these streets. It's Friday night. So I want to try to talk to her and make sure she's safe before she get out here with the wrong crowd.
It's really hard to leave. It's really hard to just forget about, and then on top of that, it's like, where are you gonna go? I personally have been raised in the church, and I did stray away. I ran away when I was 12, and I hooked up with a 21-year-old. Once that happened, I did school one time with some guys. It's like, oh, you wanna make some money? Credit cards, go in a bank or something, you go cash a check. We make you all pretty, this and that. So I took the offer, and I got into other things, like selling drugs and, other things that I'm not proud to say. And eventually, probably once a year, the police would find me. But at that time, I was going to the county jail. I was 14, and at that time, I was stripping. I was working in San Fernando Valley. I pretty much didn't really look back until 16. I was a year after I had my daughter. Bishop is making a difference because of the fact that he's showing that you can change and you can become who you want to be, as far as not letting the neighborhood get you down.
My mother had me at the age of 17. My father was 19, and he was in the Black Panther Party. My mother was in the Black Panther Party. A strong woman, and she wasn't taking no mess from my father. He wasn't ready to be a family man. He wasn't ready to be a father in a household, coming home to a woman and a child. Just a lot of arguing. My father would stay out 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, and my mother wasn't going for that. So every time I hear the car pull up, I knew an argument was getting ready to start. So I was actually glad when they broke up. My dad was, he was cool. He was a fly guy, player type guy. He's what we call like a weekend dad. He'd pick me up and we would end up going to a Kung Fu Sansu studio where I learned martial arts. So yeah, I wanted to imitate my dad at that time, being the fly guy with the big Cadillac and knowing Kung Fu, martial arts, having different women around. I had to be 10, 11, actually. I don't know exactly how it happened, but I remember that it has something to do with a girl. So everybody knew about it. You know how, ooh, Al's coming to get you, Al's coming to get you. And Al was like a big dude back then, tall. light skinned, known gang member. And I was just a little pup. I came out of the school in Highland Elementary and I could see my father's Eldorado sitting down the street. So of course that gave me a little bit more brave, more courage. So I start walking home. I see a whole crowd coming up Venice Way, and here come Al. So of course I start walking fast because I'm still trying to make it home. And next thing I know, he just came and just walked up to me, and we was in the middle of the street of Victor and Venice Way. Got into a huge fight. You know, he kind of slung me around, but when it came to one-on-one fighting, I've defended myself pretty well. And I got a couple of good licks in, that's all it took. But I got a lot of respect after that just for fighting him.
He fought God back on his block. Well, no God on his block. None. America doesn't see that. We have to go from here to here and still wonder if we're going to make it. Just to get to the bus stop. Just to get to the market. But if you got somebody like Giz, they know he got this area. Don't mess with nobody over here. Because they're going to call him. I've seen him go from talking crazy on the street to getting shot in the park to saying I'm going to the Lord to saying I'm a bishop and I seen it. And when I see him now, I'm like, do I call you bishop? Because I call him Gizmo. Do I call you bishop? Do I call you Giz? And I'm conflicted because I don't want to disrespect. I just have more respect for him now. Because the way he was then, he was hardcore. I'm a gangster. He was an OG. No, an OG can say something and something to happen to somebody else. He still has respect as an OG. All these youngsters around here, they know he's not into that life no more. They know he's a bishop, but they know they better not mess with him. Because he is an OG and he's a man of God. So don't go there.
Yeah, salad. Thank you.
You don't want no macaroni and cheese?
Well, everything over there.
Thank you.
We like it saucy.
When the gang started, they had a code. It's almost like the mafia. They got a code. There's certain things you don't do and certain things you do. And there's certain people that's up here. These you can't mess with. He's up here. He's always been up here. But now he's up here because he with God. So he got the gang and God.
You done already been shot, you done already been to the pen. Now it's time to change. You feel me? You gotta do something. I ain't telling you.
I'm gonna do something different with this.
It's the same as me. You can't. It ain't doing nothing. It's the same thing. But this don't make us though. It's what's in here. You feel me? This is already. This is done. This is done. It's what's in here. It's what we going for next.
Jesus Christ, he wasn't invited.
Only come together.
When I was really young, I used to be scared of these streets. But now, like, I embrace them, though. You start getting used to it. And that's crazy, though. That's what's got us fucked up in the mind. My mama always told me that from day one. Once you embrace this, you embrace your friends more than you embrace anything else. And it had to get me to all these stages to understand she was right. I embraced my homies more than I embraced anything else.
I'm on these blocks. Cochran Avenue, Adams, Washington. I'm on these blocks though. These are blocks. This is how we make our money. Until a job come up. I ain't trying to give us no job like that. So we gotta work our own job. Cause I'm not finna be broke out here. Go through all channels to make the ends meet. And I got kids and all. I gotta make sure my kids are right. I got 2 boys. When I first hit the penitentiary in 99, nigga, it was no turning back. And I've been doing this since the fucking 80s. Ain't no turning back. I gotta go to sleep with this. Wake up, same thing. We don't know if we gonna go home tonight. I believe in God, I love God and all that. But we don't know if we gonna get canceled out tonight. Popcorn told me, nigga, from day one, though.
They told me the same shit.
Nigga rep
Why
this
you
block.
think I've been
Nigga
here all
always
this
come
time?
back to this block.
Why you think I've been here all this time?
So we all stuck up in the same dilemma.
Because we is. But I ain't making no excuses. I don't gotta focus my whole life on the turf.
The system got us fucked up.
No.
The system got us fucked up. Nigga, all these
That's
different
because
laws
you
and
keep
all
doing the
that,
same thing.
they
You
got
keep
us
doing the
fucked
same
up.
thing over and over. That's what it's gonna be.
Okay, I'm a block
Think
nigga
up
though.
outside the box and get up out the box.
Is it easy for us?
Hell yeah.
It ain't easy for us because
Why
you right
it's
here.
not?
You right here on the block with me. How we gonna go away if this is what you know? This is your family though. This is what you know. Or it's supposed to be your family. Reason why I don't walk away from it is because I done lost too many big homies that really like represent this shit. Really like taught me. So it hurts though. It hurts hard. But at the same time, we gotta claim these blocks. These are our blocks. You can't hold to your block and you ain't nothing.
You
What
got
is
a
it?
gang bang?
That's what it is though.
No, you don't.
We started like this. I'm in like this.
We didn't start off nothing like this.
What? Nigga, we started with this cripper. And I'm
You
in with this
chose
cripper.
the gang banging life over everything else.
The gang chose me though. I'm gonna be a gangbanger to the end.
To the end.
School you are dope.
Then we dropped to the 6 feet under.
I don't know nothing else.
Yes,
I'm
bro.
no, hold on, but I'm
Look,
serious
don't
about that
think
because
they'll
you're
put a
doing too
shoe
much. You've been doing too much all day.
I
And
guess
I've been trying to
that's
be
for my
cool with
party.
you. So I'm letting you know right now, keep all that to the side. Because I'm serious about what I do. You feel what I'm saying? Do you understand what I'm saying?
Because I heard you. Bro.
Okay.
Hey,
As long as you understand me.
I heard you, bro.
As long as you understand me.
I heard you, bro.
All right. I'm schoolyard.
Hey,
So you better watch what I'm telling you.
Wait a minute. Come on,
You know what I'm saying?
But when it comes to me doing God's work and someone that is taunting while I'm praying, I get real adamant about what I do. So I had to check him, as we say. You want to please God. You don't want to please man. That's what you got to get in your heart. That's what you got to get in your heart right now and realize they going to respect you regardless. But it's the one that you really want to please is God, because they ain't waking you up. They ain't even come to see you in the pen. They ain't come to give you no money. They ain't come to give you nothing. They ain't wake you up in the morning. God did. You feel me?
Right.
They didn't wake you up. They didn't even come visit you in the pen.
I'm schoolyard.
All right then. So you better make sure who you trying to please. You trying to please God, not man. And you keep that in your heart. Because I'm telling you, later on tonight at 1 o'clock in the morning, when you go down to pray, you praying to God. You ain't praying to the homeless.
100%.
You hear me?
100%.
All right then. I'm
He
just
wake
telling
me
you.
up
I'm gonna
every
leave it like
day.
that.
He wake me up every
All right.
day.
Well, you remember that.
You right. You right. Don't say it. You right.
Our intent was to, protect each other and, look out for each other, It was like stuff just went wrong. You see all these scars in my face, man? I've been through some fights. I've been shot 6 times, with big guns. I've been shot in the stomach. It bust my stomach in 3 places, went through my liver. Been shot in the back. I've been shot in the knees, I had over 200 stitches in my head. I gave myself this name, the Blue Bandit, because I came down from out the hills taking shit from motherfuckers. You know, I used to, you know, like take their pride. The bishop was vicious. You know, I don't want to, say nothing to, because he's a changed man. He's been talking to me for years, about, hey man, come on now, man, you getting too old for that. I just now realize, man, that the streets is beautiful.
Back in them days, in the early days as we were kids, we started the back street schoolyards. The older men, more of the gangsters, not gang bangers, took me up under their wing. I got out of the blue Levi's and the blue Pendleton and, started wearing suits and kind of went to the gangster world instead of the gang banging world with the Crip and Blood. They took me to a whole nother level. J.J. Hodge I love him to life. He went on to be with the Lord. But I used to drive his cars. And of course that, whenever people see that in the communities, that's just another thing of, respect. They see you with these type of people. J.J. Hodge really took a liking to me. Well, he really didn't need a bodyguard, but I would just say an extra set of eyes. I would just watch his back, so to speak, while he did whatever he was doing. But just watch his back, and he knew the loyalty. That was one thing that he really liked about me was loyalty. He loved the fact that nobody can say anything about him. Nobody could come to his door without. He knew that I had a loyalty of a high level, and he can trust me. Back then, in my days, everybody feared him, and when you're a child, that's amazing. So I never really had any problems after that. Never had any altercations with gang members. Never had any gang violence after that because I can go anywhere. Then it was like I can go to the jungles, I can go to the Playboys, I can go to the 20s, I can go all over then because it was more like my demeanor, my appearance, and the people who everybody knew them. So it was like you don't touch him. I mean, even the police, I've never seen a man kick the police in the butt, and he literally did. It was amazing to me to see that because all my other friends that was my age, we get jacked up every day, all day, go to jail for nothing, but make us get out the car for nothing, get on our knees. But once I got connected with Jay, none of that happened no more.
What's up there, Bishop? He made his own bones in the streets. When he wasn't with us, he was still somewhere doing something. They was trying to kill little kids. He was a good student. He learned everything that I taught him. Because, see, I was a gambler. And he began to win his own money. The gang was there, but he was kind of outgrowing them all the time. See, he was running with big boys then. Well, the JJ, he had 5 cars and 2 or 3 Louis Vuitton bags full of cash. The little gang member boys, they were there, they were his friends, but he had graduated on them. The little drive-by shooting and all that wasn't nothing. Even though he was taking some time off to be with with some older players and do less risky stuff, he was still gangbanging. Like a lot of those people, when you see them, they go shoot somebody on the corner or something. A lot of them people ain't never did nothing to them. They killed them because they was from the wrong hood.
I'm also licensed as a gang intervention prevention specialist through Cal State LA, and getting a lot of calls going out trying to stop the domino effect on the shootings that go on when it's involved in gang shootings.
There was definitely a shooting, a killing at the store right here. A 3-star. One is a female, young girl, and there's three dead, possibly 4. This is blood territory, and it's a group of them, a huge group of them right down the street, but there's no rivals around right now. I went and spoke to them already. They're kind of upset, but they're in a group with each other, and as long as they're with each other and there's no retaliation, no Crips around, then they kind of condensed and have their own thing. So what we'll do right now is just prevent anyone coming over and causing any ruckus. Okay. But we'll touch bases tomorrow. All right, bro. All right, I'll talk to you. All right. All right.
What's up with you, nephew? What, Jelly? Now tell Jelly stay on the phone.
Oh, hold on, Jelly. How you doing, huh?
What's happening with you?
Oh, the same old, same old.
Jelly, where you at? This Gears. Where you at? I came to look for you. Where you at? All right, well, put your number in my phone. Hold on, I'm gonna get off the street. Where you going, nephew?
Shit, to the house.
All right, I'm gonna drive around there.
My situation is really bad right now because I'm like the gingerbread man right now. And it's not even on purpose. I believe I have a warrant. I'm just like, that's really what's going through my mind. I just gotta calculate my steps off of what I'm gonna do to keep myself from riding with someone stupid that get pulled over. It's a wrap for me. That's why I'm grinding. I'm doing all that I can right now, so at least my daughter Christmas will be straight. You know, even if I'm not there, I'm gonna be able to send money, whatever she wants, get it. Uncle, you ready for the back?
They don't want to answer. Preachers.
You have reached the voicemail box of 32.
See, they don't want to answer the preacher's call on no Friday night. Be convicted. You know, my God, they don't know that it's a conviction. They don't want to They don't want to answer, but as soon as something go wrong, as soon as something happen, they want to blow my phone up. But trying to get to them before the problem occurs, they don't want to answer then.
Woo, you scared me. I thought you was police. Yeah, I'm good.
I don't know, a month ago or so. Talked to her and, telling her about God, how God loves her and how she can do better, how I love her, how her family loves her. And we prayed together. I'm asking God that you keep all hurt, harm, and danger away from her. Remove anybody in her inner circle, God, who's trying to keep her in that lifestyle. And as soon as we prayed together, she called me about an hour later, said she got a job at a restaurant. And ever since then, I've been trying to follow up with her and can't reach her. For her not answering my call and her phone is going straight to voicemail, I'm more concerned about her safety right now and hoping that she's okay.
I definitely think that gangs are a terrible scourge on society. These are street terrorists. These are people that are taking advantage of you, me, of the neighbors next door. I mean, you can come in contact with them and you can say, hey, you didn't have a choice. But everything's a choice. Whether you go and you rob some lady of her purse or you wait for your next door neighbor to go to church so you can break into her house, those are all choices. Do I think that you're a good person for doing that? I mean, I have compassion for people, but you can't have compassion for people that take advantage of their neighbors and of their neighborhood and cause pain and injury and suffering everywhere they go. There are guys that grew up in predominant gang areas and didn't become gang members. But do you think that they had an easy life? Do you think that they said, oh, I'm not going to be a gang member, and they just walked to school and there was no problems? When they said they didn't want to be a gang member, they had to hide from the gang members. They had to run home. They had to, if you're growing up in a prolific gang area, there most likely is that you're going to end up being involved in some type of gang, or running from them, or hiding from them, or trying to stay away from them, you know what I mean? What's up, boss? You all right? Are you a good guy or a bad guy?
Zebra Paul.
That depends on you.
Depends on me.
Yeah. It all determines on how you determine it.
Back in our days, the police would take us and drop us off in the enemy territory. Yeah, they did that to me. Oh yeah, several times. Oh yeah, that's what they would do back in the early 80s. They would take us up to the jungles and where the Bloods were, and drop us off in the jungles. And there's been times where we got caught and got jumped and beat up. If we all came together in peace, it'd take the business away from the police department. They don't want to see peace. They don't want to see all black men, Crips, Bloods. They don't want to see that all come together, because then they won't have a job to do. Whatever their agenda is, we have to realize that there is a hidden agenda behind it. But we have to realize and teach these young brothers that it's a better way.
I don't really have the answers, but my job isn't to be able to come up with the solutions. My job is to, enforce the laws. I mean, if you grew up in an impoverished area and you had no other opportunity to feed yourself other than do certain things, I might be able to justify myself that, hey, I had to steal that piece of bread to feed myself. But did I have to shoot you to take your wallet to get something to eat? I have compassion for people, period. But I think that you know, gang members, there really shouldn't be a place for them in society. Being a gang member, it's a young man's game. You know what I mean? It's there. If you're going to be active and on the street, you got to be young. You got to be healthy. You know. And you'll see a lot of the homeless people that are running around. They were old gang members a long time ago. They're not active anymore. They're just hanging around. Because these young guys, although like when you're young, you want to be an OG. What happens after OG? And I really think the original gang members, the original Bloods and the original Crips, they just got to a point where they're old. It isn't about being out on the street, hanging out anymore. And they see, once you get to a certain maturity, you see that there is no future in it, you know? There's a lot of people out there that can go out in the world and tear stuff up. It takes like a man to go out in the world and build something, to make something better. I think that's what the men and women of Los Angeles County do on a daily basis, is go out there and enforce the laws and make society a better place. And if you take the inverse of that, gang members, criminals, what do they go out? They go out in the society and make it a worse place.
The first gangs in Los Angeles were actually white gangs that formed to enforce boundaries to keep non-white people out of white neighborhoods. And some of the names are, you know, very indicative of what their purpose was. One of the names of one of the gangs was the Spook Hunters, which spook is a, you know, derogatory term for African Americans. So the original black gangs that started in South Los Angeles started as a response to these white supremacists who would attack black people, you know, basically for sport. And so they kind of arose just as kind of like mutual defense pacts. But eventually, you know, the white people left and the neighborhoods were basically, you know, left as black ghettos in much of South Los Angeles, right? In the 60s, during the civil rights movement era, you know, most of the black gang members in the city got involved in the civil rights movement. And so there was a kind of a collapse of gang activity. So the gang conflicts kind of fizzled out, and the members of these different gangs kind of came together and started working together in civil rights organizations, you know, for black people. The Black Panther Party was targeted by the FBI throughout the country, in cities throughout the country. They would use local law enforcement, and they would also use other groups and kind of turn people against each other. So basically, by the early 70s, these civil rights groups had been destroyed. When the civil rights movement collapsed, there was a vacuum left, and these kids, you know, created these new identities, these new gang identities of Crips and Bloods, just out of their own minds. Their policy of breaking up the civil rights movement and breaking up the Black Panthers was more successful than they could have imagined, because what the state was trying to do was really turn the members of the movement against each other to create conflicts so that the movement would collapse. I don't know if they could have foreseen that in the wake of the collapse of the movement, that the next generation of kids would turn on each other in such a, you know, violent way. And the level of violence started increasing, you know, very quickly.
I look at my gang as a family. You know, every gang gonna beef with other neighborhoods and other sets. You know what I mean? It's a lot of enemies I don't like, I don't fuck with. You know what I mean? There's always gonna be retaliating. Somebody come over right now and shoot one of my homeboys or one of my homies, hell yeah, I'm gonna retaliate. You know what I mean? I'm gonna retaliate quick, fast, and in a hurry. And wouldn't think twice or have a second breath of it. You know what I mean? And throw it up high like boom, it's whatever. You know what I mean? Shit, because that's the individual I grew up with, I loved, I was there with, and you know what I'm saying? I made an oath to. So I'm gonna ride with that, you know what I'm saying? No matter what.
It's just a funeral for a gang member. You never know how things happen, how things come up. There's a rival going on between two different sets, two different Crip sets. They knew each other. There's been a feud going on for quite some time. And they just finally caught up to each other while they was driving down the street and had a car-to-car shooting and shot each other up. And he ended up dead.
Big said Trip, that's my boy that came and said some thank you, homie, I appreciate it. But everybody said the same thing, cuz was solid, you know, to the T. And that's the thing, you can't replace him. You can't replace Baby Shice. You can't replace Mills. You can't replace these cats that we losing to these suckers. You know, I have to speak up. Just to let you know, Harb, I love you. I'm gonna make sure your kids, my kids, what you got, everything, homie, it'll stay alive, homie.
But I know that I was a sinner, I was a chief of sinners, so I can relate to where y'all at and where y'all coming from. But you gotta ask yourself, who is your king? Some people look up to the big homies as their king. I'm asking the big homies to help these little youngsters because they follow in your footsteps. Show them how you made it. Show them how you got delivered. Show them how you got out that penitentiary. Show them how you came up and did something better and improved your life. Because we got some leaders that shouldn't be leading. We got some people that's guiding our youngsters the wrong way.
A lot of pastors are not going to do it because of the Crips, because of the Bloods, and they don't know that lifestyle, so they really can't relate. And since they can't relate, they just tend to shoo them off.
Call us a street gang, call us whatever you want to call us. But at the end of the day, we are truly the community in this area. So accept it and help us become better, or completely just leave us alone and let us do what we do.
Yeah,
what we've been doing.
That's it. Yeah,
that's the truth.
Yeah,
our homies that come to me all the time and we talk about change often. But then, how is he supposed to feel when he sits down and has a very long conversation about change, but he walks out the door and he doesn't get 10 steps out the door before he's handcuffed, profiled, called out his name, thrown to the ground? How does he feel internally? That's why we grow up with this I don't give a fuck attitude. That's why we stick together and call us a gang, because I know for a fact you won't disrespect me like that. I know my brother right here won't. So I'm going to stick to him by any means necessary. It's something that they can't understand and they're completely approaching it wrong.
Hey, Uncle.
Where you been, girl?
I wasn't feeling good these past couple of days.
Yeah. Where you at?
I'm at the shop.
You at the shop? I've been calling you all day.
Have you?
Yeah, your phone was off, girl. You turned your phone off. It was going straight to voicemail.
Oh yeah, my phone. Yeah, you know what? It was dead. It sure was.
It wasn't dead. You turned it off. I need to see you so we can talk. I got some people that I want to introduce you to. I want to introduce you to Cheetah. I talked to Cheetah. Cheetah is one of the first OG Cripplettes. I'm in the area now, but I'm meeting with her. I'm meeting with her Friday at noon, and I want you to meet her.
Okay.
Cheetah is one of the first Cripplettes in LA. She's one of the founder of the Crips for the females. Way back in the early 70s. She helps a lot with sex trafficking, getting these girls off the street. She has an organization called Girls in Gangs, Time for a Change. Cheetah has a lot of experience when it comes to these girls and these Cripplettes out here. So her being the original Crippolette from way back in the days, I'm pretty sure she'll be able to scare and Jelly straight. Let her know where it started, how it started, and what's going on, and where she's gonna end up.
I'm the reason why I can relate to her story because I lived the same lifestyle. I was in the limelight before I started gangbanging. In my family, era was all about gangbanging and prostitution. I changed my life because it happened to me. When I got stabbed, I got stabbed here, and I got stabbed in my back. I'm cut from the middle of my back to right here. They had to put a tube in my chest so my heart wouldn't collapse. They call it a chest tube, and you cannot be dead, and I was woke, screaming. I knew I could have lost my life, and I didn't want to die. I really didn't want to die, so I knew to get myself together, and that's how I became to come along and help other women now. And it's a deadly cycle because the only thing that come out of all that is death. Or you hooked on drugs, or you beat so bad that don't nobody want to see you.
When she just told her story, it did kind of bring back memories back when I was 12, when I was younger. Yes, that's another reason why I got emotional, is because she's like, girl, she was 21 years old, had birth. That could have been me. Because there's been a couple of times where guys kidnapped me. It was a guy. I got stranded and I didn't have a way back to Los Angeles. And so a guy, he was like, oh, I'll help you get back to Los Angeles. The first thing I did was I spent the night. His girlfriend was there. And, of course, they took advantage of me. And then the next day, I was like, I'm not going to have them take my money. If anything, I would spend my own money, but I'm not going to let them take it. So I just went. I was like, I need clothes. So I went and hurried up and spent the money. And when I left, I guess his brother that I had met that night was like, you're my brother's girl. And I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm not your brother's girl or whatever. I don't know. What are you talking about? He called his brother. Brother came. The girl socked me in my face and pulled me out the car. They took me back to the room, and for like a whole week, I think he ended up going to jail. It could have been worse, I could have been dead. I could have been trafficked. They could send me, I don't know, anything. After I prayed, it kind of felt like a burden off of my back, like I'm not the only person that's going through things, and it's not impossible for me to get through it.
Give her the power to be able to fight off every evil imp, every evil spirit that will try to attack her. Yes. But I rebuke right now the devil out of her life. Remove him right now, cast him back in the pits of hell. Yes. Because this is your daughter. She's more than a conqueror. She's ahead, above, and not beneath.
I see a beautiful young black woman. So she's going to make that transitional change, and she's in doing it now. And it's going to work for her, and she's going to end up saving somebody's life. She's going to be able to go back and maybe one of her friends It could be somebody she don't even know. And she'll go back and bring them where she's been out of because she's already had the experience. You can do so much to reach somebody your age that has gangbanged before. And God is giving you a chance because you're not damaged. You just had a wake-up call. You know what I mean? This is your wake-up call.
Yeah.
And it's time for you to answer up to your wake-up call because if you keep letting it pass you, so it's your time.
Once I transition into my life being totally, you know, straight on the narrow, then, you know, I can save a lot of girls from going through that by, you know, sharing my story and, you know, letting them know, like, how she just let me know, like, you know, you can move past it.
It's hard when you lose one of your own. You know what I'm saying? It's so hard. I can't even find the words sometimes what to say. When people come up to me and say, sorry for my condolences, I accept it, I walk with it, but damn, that don't ease the pain though. Now December 18, 2016, I lost my baby boy, Ryan Joseph. LAPD's killed him. And I heard he was approached and asked if he had any weapons or whatnot. And I heard from one of his friends that he said, no, I don't have nothing, and continued to walk in the house. And when they continued to walk in the house, they chased after him. And they ran him down and shot him down. The system is fucked up. They got the right to gun us down. But we shoot somebody, go for life. And they wonder why we act the way we act. I missed 13 years of his life in prison. And I was reconditioning myself to make that up to him. Did I bring this on him? Did I curse my seeds? Was it something that I did as a kid or a child coming up in this gang or whatnot that was relayed down to them? It's fucked up when you think about it like that. Trying to find a reason why at the point of me turning my life on a positive level that this would happen. My life has changed dramatically. I'm in a midnight mission. I've been there for about 7 months now. Ain't picked up near a bottle, ain't picked up near weed. And I just been doing the program. Made me feel a lot better because they seen their pops doing something different. They seen their pops' life changing for the better. I'm on the list for housing. I got me a job working security for the homeless. And I can relate to that because I was one of them. I know what it's like to have to be out there on the streets all day long, every day. Ain't too many people finna carry you. Not in the gang life I live. Nah. The loyalty is just based on the turf. What you can do for the turf. What you can do for the turf to keep it going. And that got a lot of guidelines behind it. Feed the turf. Gun for the turf. what can you produce for this turf? If you can't produce nothing for the turf, you might as well not be in it. That's what it came up to. It didn't start off like that, but that's where it ended at. Yeah, I am crazy. I am fucked up in the head. Because when it's all said and done, I'm still with this. I love the turf. I love it so much that sometimes, it seems like sometimes I love it so much that I love it more than myself. As soon as I get a chance, guess what I do? I run right back to it. This is for life. But what I had to learn myself is, yeah, I joined this for life. I'ma bang this for life. I'm a member for life. But I still gotta get me right. I can picture me going, but not my son though. Because I know the fucked up lifestyle I've been living. And I'm like, damn. And you know, at a moment, I had bitter feelings with God. Because I'm looking at it like at the point of my transformation, trying to get my shit back online. You can't throw this one at me. But what they say is God won't give you nothing that you can't handle. Because I grew up in the church. Altar boy, all that. But when I started doing this gang life, it separated me. Because I knew I was doing some shit that God was not with. So I couldn't see myself stepping up into the church, going through the prayers and all this, and then running right back out the streets and I'm selling drugs and I'm, you know, whatever comes along with it. Popping at motherfuckers, whatever. If I was able to go back, I don't know, maybe I wouldn't have been involved in this. Knowing the outcome of it. But I guess that's why we don't know the outcome of it.
I was a member of the Schoolyard Crips, and I mean, I did what we did. I'm saying if we needed to go and put some work in on some enemies, so be it, that's what we did. But after doing so much time in prison, those same guys from the enemy sets, I did time with those guys, and come to find out, you know, they was just like me, became friends, and some of them are some of my closest friends. It kind of changes your whole way of thinking. You tend to, we all got kids now. I got a son, he's 31 years old. And he's in prison. And it's like, that ain't what I wanted for him. So, if that ain't what I want for him, then I have to change my way of thinking and my way of life. Just like the bishop.
But I went in there to go get a weapon, and there was a Bible there. And out of all these things that I was doing in my life, I told God, if you let me get past this, I promise you, God, I'll never do it again. And this was the last time when I changed my life over to God. Because I didn't buy no Bible, I didn't put no Bible, I don't even know what my gun is today. But I know I didn't put no Bible in that car. I only got one key. But God told me you don't get no more chances. You better believe it was me who got rid of those weapons. It was me who stopped those bullets from hitting you in your head. It was me who stopped you from going to the penitentiary. All that crime you committed. It was me who got you on the pulpit right now. It was me who changed your name from Abraham to Abram. It was me to change your name from Sarah to Sarai. It was me who changed Jacob to Israel. It was me who changed Saul to Paul. It was me who changed your name to Gizmo to Bishop Kadon L. Smith. It was me who got a plan for your life. It's me who got a purpose and a promise for you. Let my story give God all the glory. I'm telling you right now, the promise for my life is to lead the gangsters to God, to lead the Crips to Christ, to lead the hookers to holiness, to lead bangers to the Bible. No devil in hell is going to stop me from doing what God has called me to do. Much prayer, much power. You are dismissed. Know that God loves you and so do I. Tell somebody you love them. Amen. Amen. Mary's boy.
West side. I love you, bro.
Love you.
I love you, bro.
Love you, homie.
Ain't nothing. I love you, bro.
Love you, homie. We're going to pray for the homie right here. We're going to pray. Whew. Heavenly Father, in the name of Jesus, Lord, I just thank you. I just thank you right now for bringing Ace Boy into the church, Lord. Oh, found one.